So, The Undertaker said on the 6 Feet Under podcast some criticisms against AEW, but constructive criticisms. And I do want to say that The Undertaker is one of my favorite wrestlers. You know why? It's because he and I both love Poontang Pie. That was really awesome when he said that to The Rock. Really awesome shit. Poontang is my favorite type of pie. So, with that said, with the Undertaker has hit out at AEW saying that he hopes the promotion gets their crap together. Hopefully, one day AEW gets their crap together and genuinely creates some competition. That's probably not a popular take from most WWE insiders, but from the way I look at it, competition is going to make you better. I don't think there's a true leader in the locker room. I have nothing against the man, but I don't know if Tony Khan is the guy to run the company. His heart is in a good place, and he wants to do something, but I don't know if he has the acumen to run a wrestling company against a juggernaut that is WWE. I could be wrong. There was that one other time I was wrong. I hope they do it. They do get it together, and we do some competition. It's better for wrestlers. It's better for the audience, the fans, and everything. So when I look at that, as I said, I don't see him being an asshole to AEW. I see him just generally saying, what we all agree with, that maybe Tony Khan is not the right person to run AEW. Maybe I should be running AEW because I do a lot of great storytelling and booking. And I do think that also the other thing with AEW is that I think a lot of people don't see this, but it is a vanity company. It was started, if I have it correctly, that Dave Meltzer said that an ROH or non-WWE show could not draw more than 10,000 people. Cody Rhodes put together an ROH card, and later on this formed AEW. And that's the story, really. And then, the past couple of years, what do you see with AEW? They always talk about new stars. They talk about people coming. They talk about being counterculture to WWE. There's a lot of vanity. So, I think that long term, as I said, what were the Bucks, the Elite, and Tony Khan thinking? Were they thinking, okay, this company's going to be around for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years? What's going to happen, really? So I do think that they don't really have their direction down, and I think they don't know how to grow their audience. I really think that they need to find their direction. What do they want to be? Do they want to be competition to WWE? And there's ways to do that. As I've said, compelling television is one good thing. And emphasizing story, not matches. I'm going to review the ROH show, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And then also, too, you have a show like Forbidden Door, and you have Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito, Tony Storm versus, I think, Mia Nirakawa, if I'm saying her name correctly, and a couple of other people, too. You have a Jeff Cobbs Open Challenge. Who the hell is Jeff Cobbs? Christopher Daniels is running the show. Most wrestling fans don't know who Christopher Daniels is. So, there's things that they're doing that's counterproductive. And I think they don't know how to get out of their own way, really. So I think that Undertaker is right, that it does feel like that Tony Khan might not be the right person to run the company. Like I've said, I think that Scott D'Amore should run the company. If Jim Cornette wants to be paid well, and he should run the company. If Paul Heyman wants to quit WWE and go to Impact Wrestling, he should run the company. Bryan Danielson could run the company very well, and a few other people who just want to retire. Edge, Bryan Danielson, a couple other people could run the company. So that's one argument. The next thing that he says is that it needs to get its crap together, and I do agree with it. I think that, obviously I've talked about the issue with the ROH show in Arlington, Texas. It's $55 to buy tickets. The most... think about that. Imagine if an in-your-house show for WWE was charging $55 for ringside seats. Really, if you're lucky, you get it. But there's people like me that'll be 3 or 4 aisles down. Really, so they're emphasizing the cost of the show versus actually the quality of these shows. I was looking at Blood and Guts in Nashville. I would love to go there. If you want the closest seat that you can get to ringside right now, 2 or 3 seats before ringside, is $320. What would have happened if this was a WWE show and they said that, okay, it's going to be that 4-corner or 5-corner Hell in a Cell match, that was untelevised. What would happen if? Do you think Vince would be happy if the highest paying seat available is like $300? Tony Khan's okay with that. So they really just don't. They really don't have their crap together. And then again, when you look at the brawl out incident and how that took them a long time to actually move on from that. For a long time they had a toxic locker room. They had the first incident. They had the second incident. Jack Perry is actually one of the top guys right now. So what does that say about getting in trouble in your company? And then the next thing is in April when you were in WrestleMania country, when you had Dynasty, you focused so much on making CM Punk look bad with the footage, really. So this company does not have its crap together. They don't have like a long-term direction. I think that Tony Khan does not know how to book long-term, and I don't think he knows how to have a board of people and say, you know what, this is the direction I want to go in 5 years from now. All you need to help me get to this direction, and we will do this together. Because one person can't do it. So in one person. This is one thing in professional wrestling is you need one emperor and a bunch of generals. You can't have an emperor that's a general and a warrior. You have to have an emperor with multiple kings and multiple generals, and Tony Khan doesn't have that. I think that I do agree that he's right, that Tony Khan is a very passionate person. He's a very nice person. He's very caring. He does a lot of great things and definitely wants the company to be successful. But there will be a point where he would have to shut doors because obviously, he can't be losing money forever, really. And then the next thing is that a true leader in the locker room. I totally agree with that. That there really isn't a leader in the locker room. I think it was CM Punk for a while for Collision, and then, Jack Perry. Like Jack Perry was allowed to do what he was allowed to do, so there was no chain of command. You kind of look at MJF. There was a story that he was trying to be the locker room leader for a while, and then before it was Chris Jericho, really. So it seemed like the people with the big egos are the locker room leaders. There's no Undertaker where it's like you got to respect the business. This is how things are going to get done, and you're not going to go astray from that. Or you have like that type of person that says, okay, Darby Allin, you want to come out with a flamethrower. No, you're not doing that because it makes wrestling look fake. Or you want to do a glass spot and you want to do real glass and glass goes into the audience. No, you're not doing that. That's kind of what a locker room leader would do, is to prevent people from making dumb choices, really. So I do think that there's no locker room leader that's looking out for the best of the company, that understands the business. And I do think AEW has an attitude of, as I said, as somebody said, it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's really about shock and awe and putting things together, really. I don't think that they have a general direction. Or even, as I said, you look at Forbidden Door, a lot of these wrestlers that are competing are Japanese wrestlers from New Japan or Mexican wrestlers from CMLL. And in some cases, they are doing a job building up some people, and in some cases, they're doing some bad jobs. I think the woman that's actually facing Mercedes Moné, she had a really great promo, but now she's been losing matches in ROH and other things like that. Or Mia Kurakawa, if I'm saying her name correctly, the woman that's facing Tony Storm, wasn't she a jobber on ROH for a long time? So now you're trying to put these in big spots, and then also too, most a general person won't know these people. So there's a sense of Tony Khan, as I said, he doesn't know how to lead. He doesn't care about, I think, an effective direction, or he may. As people said, he treats wrestlers like action figures. He may be more about booking great matches than actually, what's profitable. As I said, imagine if Daniel Garcia joined the Blood and Guts match and he actually got a pinfall and had a great showing. He built a new star in Daniel Garcia. People can raise the name with Daniel Garcia. He had an abusive father. He's an American wrestler. He has an American name, Daniel Garcia. It's not some Japanese name that people you can't barely pronounce, or it's like, who the hell is this guy? That seems more, his name's more WWE type of thing. That's what I'm trying to say. If it was it was just if he was somebody that clearly was from New Japan, or they said, okay, we're gonna bring Kota Ibushi, we're gonna bring Tetsuya Naito, we're gonna bring Hiroshi Tanahashi, and they're gonna compete in Blood and Guts. Tony Khan would do something like that. When you could do something, build a new star, and Daniel Garcia, you can have the Acclaimed and MJF face the EVPs, make new stars, and the Acclaimed make them single stars. You could, as I said, you could do something like Saraya joining the Dunkhouse family, because most people know who the hell Saraya is. Instead of just saying, okay, what would happen if it was Saraya versus Tony Storm, or Saraya versus Athena, instead of Mia Shirakawa or other people that you don't really know. So there's a lot of things that I do agree with The Undertaker. I think that AEW is disorganized. I think that there is a lot of potential for it to be successful, but they've not really figured that out. And I think very clearly they may not care to go in that direction at all. So, is AEW gonna rest in peace? Poontang is my favorite type of pie. The Undertaker's awesome.